Welcome to Special Broadcast. I'm Ben Fall, here with former Governor of Maryland and former Democratic Governors Association Chairman Martin O'Malley. It's a pleasure to have you here, Governor.
Thanks, Ben. Good being with you.
Excellent. I'm going to start right in with it. In February, a Quinnipiac poll found that 84% of those polled had not heard enough about you to have either a favorable or unfavorable opinion. How do you let people know who Martin O'Malley is?
Well, you just go out and you do it. I mean, sometimes people ask, as I contemplate possibly running for president, how do you climb such a big mountain when you're relatively unknown? But history's full of instances where candidates formulated a better framework for our country's future, had the ideas, the substance, and the executive experience, and were willing to go to those early states where people get to meet the candidates in Iowa and New Hampshire usually once or twice or 3 or 4 times before they have to make a decision. When I was in college, in fact, I was out in Iowa for a very little-known candidate who only probably had 1 or 2% name recognition. But I saw as a young person working the Iowa caucuses just how seriously the people of Iowa and New Hampshire take their vote and listen to those candidates when they visit the towns and when they speak. And so that's how a person becomes well-known in this country and running for president. You're unknown for a long time, and then suddenly you become very well-known once those first contests happen. And history is also full of instances where the inevitable front-runner is inevitable right up until he or she is no longer inevitable. And so it's an exciting process, and very few people even get to consider it. And I consider myself blessed that I'm even able to consider it.
Like you just said, talking about Iowa and New Hampshire, I know you've been recently visiting some of those states, including Iowa. Have you seen that making an impact on your image?
Well, you know, it's as I travel to these states, I mean, I don't gauge so much my image as I listen for the hopes and aspirations and the desires of the people that I would offer myself to serve. In other words, my purpose for going there and for talking to, whether it's the Democratic Party in Iowa or New Hampshire or last weekend in Kansas, is to help us together create a better story for where our country needs to go. I mean, you listen to the conversation on the other side of the equation with the Republican Party, and it seems that many of the candidates seem to be doing backflips over each other, trying to figure out who wants to cut our government the most, who wants to dismantle our government the quickest, and who can say the most disparaging things about new Americans and immigrants who have come to our country to make our country better. There's a better story we have to tell, and it's going to require leadership. It's going to require candidates. It's going to require our having a conversation about the stronger and more generous nation that we want to build and create for our kids. So that's my reason for going out there. I guess stated in a more succinct way, Ben, if you have ideas to offer and you have a better framework for our country's future, the name recognition and face recognition and those things will come. You just have to be about the business of the people that you're offering to serve. And then those other things take care of themselves.
Great points, definitely. You just mentioned immigration, so I want to move on to that. And there's been some concern recently regarding wages and what could happen if the United States receives a large influx of immigrants. And I know you have a very good background with immigration reform, and you took a lot of action while serving as governor. How should the U.S. address immigration reform and issues going forward?
Well, I think that, the people, for those that say we should be fearful that these immigrants might come here or might become part of our country and our open economy, these people are already here, and they are already part of our economy. They are not fully a part of our economy, though. While certainly there's some payment of taxes, the truth of the matter is that we become stronger as a country the more that people are included and the more fully people participate. And there are many studies that show that if we were to have immigration reform with a path to citizenship, that would not only be an immediate shot in the arm to the longer-term solvency of things like Social Security, but it would also help our federal budget situation because you would have more people contributing to our country. So I'm very much in favor of immigration reform. I think it's one of the things that has made us the land of opportunity in the hearts and minds and tongues of people all over this world. It's the fact that people from all over the globe can come here, work hard, and know that the harder they work, the better they will be able to provide for their children. I mean, that's what the American dream's about, and I think immigration and immigrants in every generation make us stronger. Of course, I say this on St. Patrick's Day, so I'm a little biased and feeling kind of hyped up on this one.
On a different note, as governor of Maryland, you did a lot to address climate change and global warming. What do you think needs to be done on a national level to address climate change?
We need an American jobs agenda that's a match for the climate challenge. Retrofitting buildings, for example, and making them more energy efficient would create 7,000 jobs for a year with about $1 billion investment and give us the long-term benefit of bringing down our carbon footprint. You contrast that to the $9 billion investment in the Keystone pipeline, which would add to our carbon footprint and would only support about 1,400 jobs or 2,000 jobs for a year. I believe that there is an economic case and a jobs case to be made for the climate challenge. We have to stop drawing straight lines to hell, and instead we have to talk about meeting this climate challenge as an economic imperative, a national security imperative, and something that will make us more prosperous at the same time that it will allow us to create a more secure future for our grandchildren. In our state, by having a policy, we a renewable energy policy, increasing the portfolio standards so that we have more renewable energy on the grid, going after things like offshore wind, reducing energy usage. All of those things allowed us to create an emerging sector of clean tech and green tech jobs that we did not have before. I mean, we had virtually no jobs in solar 7 years ago. Now, as we add more and more solar to Maryland's grid, we've created over 2,000 jobs installing solar panels and the like. And I think you will see even more of that. So that's what we need as a nation. We need a jobs agenda for America that's a match for the climate challenge.
All right, well, let me end with the big unknown, 2016. There's a lot of speculation. What can you tell us?
Well, I'm very seriously considering a run for president in 2016. I have had 15 years now as an executive experience as a big city mayor, executive experience as the governor of a state and guiding my state through a recession. And so I'm very seriously considering it. I believe that our country has big challenges, and leadership's important to meeting those challenges. These problems did not come here by themselves. They did not blow in on the Gulf Stream. They were the product of human choices and leadership, and yes, politics, and a campaign, and consensus, and intelligent people casting their vote can create a better future for our country. And that's what I care most passionately about. So I will be making up my mind with my family by May.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people will be looking forward to that announcement, myself included.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you so much for joining us, Governor.
Thank you, man. Good talking with you.
Thank you. I'm Ben Fall, and this has been ATV Special Broadcast.